I'm going to show you a number, and I need you to know before I show it that I almost didn't share this publicly because it exposes something that the entire manifestation industry doesn't want to talk about. 250 grand in just 4 months, and the thing that made it happen had nothing to do with the universe. Actually, it happened after I stopped talking with the universe entirely. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Hi, my name is Dian Pratama. I'm a manifestation coach, but not the kind you're probably used to. I don't teach you to trust the universe. I teach you to go higher than that. 3 years ago, I was hustling 12-hour days, drowning in fear, and doing every manifestation method out there and still stuck. Then one shift changed everything, and in 4 months I generated over 250 grand. That shift wasn't a new strategy, but it was getting the source right. Most people who study manifestation, and I mean seriously study it, they can tell you exactly how the law of attraction works. Thoughts become things. Energy flows where attention goes. Like attracts like. They can quote the books. They can explain the quantum physics arguments. They can tell you about reticular activating systems and neuroplasticity. Smart people, committed people, people who genuinely believe, and a lot of them are still broke, or stuck, or cycling through the same pattern on repeat. Why? Here's my theory. They have mastered the mechanism, but they've completely ignored the source. Imagine you're trying to power a city. You've built the most advanced electrical grid in the world. Perfect wiring, perfect infrastructure, perfect distribution system. But you never connected it to a power plant. So you just wait and hope the electricity shows up. That's what most manifestation practice looks like. Perfectly built system, but wrong power source. Or worse, connected to something that was never designed to power you in the first place. Okay, now let's talk about the 250 grand, because I think people hear that number and immediately think one of two things. Either he got lucky, or he had something I don't have. But neither is true. For 2 years before that, I was building, trying, putting out offers, learning marketing, writing content, following every business and manifestation advice I could find. And my results were fine. Not bad, not great, just fine. I was making money, but it felt like I was putting every dollar out of the ground with my bare hands. Exhausting, inconsistent. 1 good month, 2 slow ones, rinse and repeat. I kept telling myself to raise my vibration, to trust the universe, to believe harder. But there was a disconnect I couldn't name. Then I stopped performing faith, and I asked a question. I had been avoiding for years. Who exactly am I directing all of this toward? Because I realized I had never actually answered that question. I had just absorbed the language of the manifestation world, universe, energy, vibration, source, but I had never stopped to ask what is the source of the source. And when I finally sat with that question honestly, the answer was obvious and it changed everything. Now I want to get specific because I'm not interested in fake spiritual talk. I want to show you the mechanics of what changed. Here's what I know about subconscious mind from years of study and application. 95% of your behavior, your final decisions, your pricing confidence, your willingness to be seen, your reaction where someone says no, is not controlled by what you consciously believe. It's controlled by programs running underneath, deep patterns installed early, fear responses, inherited money beliefs, survival writing, survival wiring. Those programs don't care what your vision board says. They don't care about your affirmations. They run autopilot 24 hours a day, shaping every decision you make, often in ways you can't even see. This is why someone can know they deserve abundance intellectually, completely, and still undercharge, still procrastinate, still self-sabotage right before a breakthrough. The conscious mind says yes. The subconscious says not safe. Now, most manifestation approaches try to fix this with repetition. Say the affirmation enough times and eventually it sinks in. But here's what I discovered. Repetition is just the method, what you're repeating toward, the direction of your reprogramming, that what determines whether it actually holds. If you're reprogramming toward, the universe will provide. You are anchoring to an abstraction, something with no face, no relationship, no personal knowledge of you. But if your reprogramming is anchored to God, something personal, intelligent, relational, your nervous system responds completely different. Because your nervous system is not just looking for information, but it's looking for safety. And the universe, as a concept, cannot provide safety the way a personal God can. This is not a religion, this is psychology. The quality of your anchor determines the quality of your stability. So, what did the 4 months actually look like? Month 1, I rebuilt my foundation, not my strategy, but my foundation. Every morning, instead of launching into affirmations, I started with a conversation, specific, personal, like this is what I am trusting with you today. And I paired that with a deep subconscious audio work, guided session layered with gamma binaural beats as a tool, a specific reprogramming tool, now aimed at the right target. Month 2, something subtle shifted in how I showed up. My offers didn't change, my price didn't change, but my certainty changed. I stopped apologizing for my work. I stopped discounting out of fear. I stopped waiting for permission. Month 3, clients started finding me in a very logical way. When you stop operating from scarcity, you stop repelling the very thing you want. Month 4, 250 grand from digital product sales, not by luck, not a secret hack, but a foundation shift followed by aligned action. So here's what I want you to take away from this video. The 250 grand was not the point. The point is what produced it. A foundation shift. From broadcasting into empty space to speaking to someone who actually listens. From aligning with the created thing to trusting the one who created it. That shift changed how you think, how you show up, how you make decisions, how you respond when things go wrong. And ultimately, it changes what becomes possible for you. I spent 2 years doing everything right on the surface and going nowhere fast. But 4 months after getting the foundation right, everything moved. So I guess that's not coincidence. That's what happens when the ground beneath you is finally solid. Now, if this video made you think differently, even just a little, then hit subscribe because next week we're going deeper.